When it comes to remote, hard to find, or forgotten locations in World of Warcraft, exploring the map while leveling is the best way to find them. During Phase 3 of Season of Discovery, I recently found a secluded spot that most players probably overlook, and yet, it's one of the most unique enclaves in all of Classic WoW. Today, I want to share this spot with you all, and present a bunch of secret lore that fell into place while I was investigating. As always, thank you for your fun comments and support, and with all that being said, let's get right into it. The wilds of Feralas are mostly filled with dense undergrowth and massive trees, but it's the western coast that gives this zone an even more unique appeal. The jungle opens up to reveal a salt-sprayed coastline, and two large islands off the coast. In the north is Sardor Isle, home of Feathermoon's stronghold, the Alliance base in the region. While it's easy to miss, this is the one piece of the zone with rather unique flora, the jungle trees replaced with smaller, more familiar pines, perhaps indicating some sort of ecological reset occurred here in the past. To the south, the Isle of Dread, a much more mysterious and menacing area, is only visited by the very foolish or very brave. This is where our story today takes place. A group of naga, the Hate Crest, have begun encroaching on the land, seeking lost treasures in the ruins of Solarsal. This follows a pattern of naga incursions on the shores of Azeroth, and, similar to many other cases, the locals want this threat neutralized. The elves of Feathermoon send adventurers first to the ruins on Sardor Isle, then toward the naga leadership. We've identified one of the Crueler Royals as Lord Shalzaru. Scouts report that he himself has uncovered an odd relic during a recent naga excavation in a cave south of the main ruins, across the water on the Isle of Dread. Put a stop to it by putting a stop to him, and bring me his relic so we can study it. Indeed, swimming over to the southern ruins, likely another part of the city of Solarsal, reveals the area known as Shalzaru's Lair, which features a large cave set up against the cliffside. This cave is intriguing as it uses a unique terrain model complete with pieces of highborn architecture, and it seems likely this is a combination of both natural erosion and the meddling of the naga. Venturing inside, Shalzaru himself can be found in a grotto near the back of the cave, flanked by his guards. While defeating him and claiming the mysterious relic he carries might be the end of most players' adventures here, there is something else to find. While I was questing here, I couldn't help but notice the minimap seems to extend past the quest location, and sure enough, there's actually a secret underwater tunnel that leads into the true end of the lair, a hidden elven temple half buried underground. In 12 years of playing WoW, I've never stepped foot in here before, and I think this is a really cool secret area that takes advantage of the aquatic nature of the naga. There isn't anything special back here gameplay-wise, just a few more mobs, some ore nodes, and sometimes the rare Lady Zala, who can also spawn elsewhere in the cave. Beyond the facts of this area, there is a lot to unpack theory-wise. This definitely seems to be the culmination of the elven ruins here in the cave, and potentially this was where the relic was being kept before being pillaged by the naga. It's also possible this area was where Lord Shalzaru was originally supposed to spawn, but perhaps this was changed to give players a bit of an easier time finding the target. The underwater tunnel might also remind players of another naga-infested area, the waterlogged jail where King Varian was kept on Alkaz Island. A nice little parallel for those familiar with that story. Anyway, let's return to the temple. Why are these naga explorers so keen on excavating it? And what's the deal with the relic? While we don't get a clear-cut answer in the game, there are still a lot of clues to consider. Before even entering the cave, the very first quest in the chain sends you to the ruins on Sardor Isle, where a wrecked elven dock can be found. To our south are the ruins of Solarsal. This is an area that far predates modern times. We explored the ruins initially and found nothing of note. As such, we left it in peace. Very recently, the Hate Crest Naga have occupied these ruins in alarming numbers. With Naga moving onto the shore, the dock has been ravaged, but a wooden gazebo still stands, now covered in bizarre glyphs and enshrining stones that are warm to the touch. Disturbed by this ritualistic behavior, this spurs your assault on the Naga that eventually leads to the cave. I suspect the mysterious relic held by Shalzaru is connected to this gazebo somehow. Perhaps the missing reagent of some sort of spell. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The end of the questline has you deliver the relic to the local scholar, and what she says may come as a bit of a shock if you've been paying attention. At first glance, it seems non-indigenous to the ruins. Then again, this isn't of Naga design, not something as alien as this. It's going to take some time to research this item. Once my research on it is done, maybe I will make use of your talents, should you be around. In typical classic WoW fashion, this chain ends and we never learn the full history of the relic, but the little info we are given is still very important. If the relic isn't from the Naga themselves, or from the Kaldorei Night Elf Empire, evidenced in the ruins, then there are really only a few possibilities. Dark Trolls, the Titans, or the most likely candidate, the Old Gods and their forces. First off, the Naga are followers of the Old Gods, and as their incursions onto dry land begin, it would make sense for the Naga to not only usurp old highborn settlements, but also recover powerful artifacts of the Void. Second, let's consider the very name of this place, the Isle of Dread, a descriptor pretty fitting for something as evil as an old god. Perhaps this is not in fact a temple for the elves, but an underground repository designed to lock away this relic. With the coastal city of Solarsal decimated during the Sundering, this could also explain why the vault warranted excavation when the Naga arrived, the clandestine tunnels having collapsed long ago. It's possible the true secret of the city was forgotten by all, the descendants of the elves simply recalling this area as a sinister place. I'll end today's theory by returning to that mysterious gazebo. Say the Naga were preparing to use the relic here for some scheme. What would have happened? My guess would be using the elements to their advantage, perhaps calling forth a flood to destroy Feathermoon, or sinking Sardor Isle beneath the waves. Given the isle's significantly low topography compared to the surrounding landscape, this would have been extremely effective, but thankfully, you're able to stop them before their plans come to fruition. In an ironic twist of fate, it would later be the Isle of Dread, not Sardor Isle, that collapsed during the Cataclysm, submerging the entire landmass and burying the layer along with it. Thank you all so much for watching. Have you ever visited that secret passage in the cave before? Either way, I hope you learned something new, and now maybe you'll see this part of the game in a whole new way. Until next time, may the Force be with you.